well. All those forecast details up next.
And straight ahead, the fans in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, celebrating the Crimson Tide, beating the Bulldogs in the College Football National Championship. And coming up, the president taking the field for the national anthem before kickoff of the NCAA football championship between Alabama and Georgia. Let's find out why 2017 was a record year for costly weather disasters.
WLTC First News Midday starts right now.
Welcome in, everyone. It's 12 o'clock sharp on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Dee Armstrong, and this is First News at noon. You give us 5 minutes. We'll give you the big stories that you need to know. Let's hear it for the Roll Tide. The Alabama Crimson Tide beat the Georgia Bulldogs in the College Football National Championship Monday. The game went into overtime. The fans going crazy here at this bar. Alabama came out on top with the final score 26-23. Fans going wild inside this bar as their team clinched the championship. Now, those Alabama fans getting ready to buy up the championship gear. This was the scene this morning at an Academy sports store in Tuscaloosa. The University of Alabama is there. Alabama earned its 5th national title in 9 years last night after beating Georgia. The game ended on a 41-yard touchdown pass in overtime. But there is some other news. Let's get to that. Police looking for the men who robbed an Auburn business. It happened over the weekend on the 42nd 100 block of South College Street around 8 p.m. Sunday. Now, according to police, an armed male entered the business demanding money from the clerks. He took the cash and then took off. Anyone with any information, if you know who that might be, you can call Auburn police, and you do not have to give up your name. An Auburn man arrested on rape charges. 37-year-old Brian Askew also charged with kidnapping. Police say Askew is one of several men who allegedly held a 13-year-old girl against her will, just 13, and the men sexually assaulted her. Now, in October, she was a little girl who had run away from the Lee County Youth Development Center. She was later picked up by those unknown men and raped. Askew remains in the Lee County Jail under a $150,000 bond. And get this, someday soon, a hot pizza arrives at your door, okay? You go to tip the driver. There is no driver. Pizza Hut is teaming up with Toyota to develop self-driving pizza delivery cars. Oh my. Toyota unveiling a concept vehicle. They call it the e-Pallet at the Consumer Electronics Show we've been telling you about in Vegas. The e-Pallet has an open interior space in lengths from 13 to 23 feet. They actually are a rolling store, and they drive themselves to you. Toyota's sinking $1 billion into self-driving technology. And 2017 setting a dubious record as the costliest on record for weather disasters, $306 billion. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, more than a third of that coming from damage from Hurricane Harvey, which cost $125 billion. Tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and drought also cited in this report, which finds 16 disasters costing over $1 billion last year, tying 2011's tally. The record is 2005. Remember that one? Hurricane Katrina. I imagine as a forecaster, Dana, that's big still in your memory, huh?
Oh, yeah. The tornado outbreak in 2011 in Alabama, of course, Tuscaloosa got hit bad. You know, we had our share of tornadoes as well the first part of last year, so we were in that disaster, you know, really the most disastrous year in weather as well in our local area. That self-driving pizza thing.
Yes, isn't that crazy?
What if I just put your address down and it just goes to your house?
And what if I just don't want to pay the car?
Exactly,
You know?
exactly. I don't know.
They got to work some things out. Okay.
Anyway, let's talk some weather right now. Again, what if I told you it's the warmest we've been so far in 2018 right now? That's how warm we are outside. 57 degrees right now in Hamilton, 58 degrees in Seal, 56 degrees here in the Fountain City. We're at 48 still in Auburn, 47 degrees in Lafayette. We're at the 60-degree mark over in Montezuma and pushing 60 in Americus and Eufaula. And there's a little peek at your 8-day forecast later on. Here's your forecast for the afternoon hours, though. We're going to see weather headlines. Got a murky Tuesday ahead, mild week in store, and we got late week rain chances. But what I want to show you here is the forecast for the afternoon hours coming on up here. As we go on in through your afternoon, we're going to have temperatures in the 60s to around the 65-degree mark under some partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Slight chance of rainfall as well. We'll have much more weather details for you coming up on the main weather segment. We got a pretty wet week ahead for Friday, and then we get a pretty cold holiday weekend as well.
Ooh, okay. Dana will be back with more of that weather news. Okay, let's get to some more news, other kind. Make sure that you like WLTZ First News, too, on Facebook for the latest news and story updates. It's WLTZ First News on Facebook. Well, it's the big story again. Fans across Georgia and Alabama still reeling one way or the other from the thrilling finish of the college football national championship game. Georgia dominated the first half in Mercedes-Benz. I know my son Mario, probably dancing around the house, thought he had it in the bag. But Bama, his girlfriend, okay, she's on the other side, Amy, an epic comeback in overtime on the arm of a freshman backup quarterback. Willie Geist has more.
Iguodala trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama!
A thrilling finish, leaving one of college football's most successful coaches at a loss for words.
Was that a good game or what?
The University of Alabama grabbing its 5th title in 9 years under Saban and doing it in a nail-biter, with President Trump taking it all in from a private box. On the field, swarming defenses from both teams stole the show early.
As Tony Brown went up and just took it away from the receiver. A straightforward call, but it goes backwards as the Dogs swarm.
But the Bulldogs found the end zone late in the first half, giving Georgia a 13-0 lead into the locker room. In the second half, Alabama making a dramatic quarterback change. Coach Nick Saban handing the ball to freshman Tua Tagovailoa, who injected new life into the Tide. But Georgia was quick to answer, fellow freshman Jake Fromm unleashing a pinpoint pass to extend the Bulldogs' lead. In the fourth quarter, Alabama turning the tide with a big comeback. Tagovailoa showing poise under pressure, tying the game at 20 with under 4 minutes remaining. After Alabama missed a field goal to win it in regulation, Tagovailoa stepped up again, this time in overtime after taking a big sack on first down.
Circling back, dropped.
With a 41-yard pass the very next play that will be etched into Crimson Tide lore.
It was just a team effort. It wasn't me, it was all of them. And, I'm glad we got to do this.
Oh, wow, no matter what side you're on, that was a good game. That was Willie Geist reporting for Nick Saban. It's his 6th national championship that ties him for the most ever with another legendary Alabama coach, Paul Bear Bryant. Well, some fans are complaining today because they missed a little bit of the game. Here's what happened. There were long security delays. The president was there, and they have to have the security. And some fans had to wait, some of them up to 2 hours in the cold, and it was raining, and it was leaking inside. We saw that report. A handful didn't make it inside for the kickoff. The president took to the field for the national anthem. He was flanked by ROTC members from both colleges. After the anthem, he sat and he watched the game. Now, the president attending last night's national championship game, that's where he was greeted with some cheers and, of course, expected some boos, too. This is as we learn more about the president's possible interview. Was there Russian collusion that kept Hillary Clinton out of the election? Peter Alexander has more.
President Trump in Atlanta Monday night, catching the college football championship.
At the twilight's last gleaming.
Even taking the field for the national anthem. But the president's still tackling questions about the Russia investigation. NBC News has learned President Trump could meet face-to-face with special counsel Robert Mueller or his investigators within a matter of weeks. An interview is possible, but not definite. That the takeaway from a December meeting between the president's lawyers and Mueller's team, according to a source familiar with the discussion. Legal experts say it's unlikely investigators would agree to anything other than an in-person sit-down. Earlier in Tennessee, the president promoting the new tax law to farmers and other rural supporters who helped propel him to the White House.
Oh, are you happy you voted for me? You are so lucky that I gave you that privilege.
It comes amid growing debate over the president's mental fitness. Fire and Fury author Michael Wolff again pushing back on the president and top aides who've called his book fake.
This is Donald Trump. This is what he does. A day after day after day after day, incident after incident after incident, he doesn't tell the truth because he doesn't know what the truth is.
The White House is also dismissing a report from Axios that the president's dramatically shortened his private schedule, instead spending his time watching TV, making calls, and tweeting. A White House spokesman blasting criticism of his work ethic as ludicrous. Meanwhile, could there be a battle of the billionaire former TV stars? Asked about a possible run by Oprah Winfrey in 2020, a person in the know tells NBC News it's not happening. She has no intention of running. Still, even Ivanka Trump praised Oprah's Golden Globe speech as empowering and inspiring. A White House spokesman says the president is absolutely running again and embracing Oprah as a possible opponent. We welcome the challenge, whether it be Oprah Winfrey or anybody else.
Well, that was Peter Alexander reporting. Up next, check out how the snow has fallen. You know where that is? The hottest desert in the world, and there's snow. What's going on, Dana?
No, it's crazy, but here's what's going on in our weather this afternoon. Here's what I wanted to show you. Temperatures pushing the 60-degree mark by 3 p.m., over 60 by 5 p.m. D is loving that. Warmest temperatures all year so far. Cloudy skies at 7, most cloudy skies at 10 p.m. Temperatures hovering around the 60-degree mark all the way through the nighttime. We got much more in weather and news straight ahead.
You're watching WLTZ First News Midday.